'Tis the season for transfer tennis. Myself and Hugh, we're going to put forward one player that would take some of the bigger clubs in the Premier League to the next level. So we've got Tottenham, Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and we're chucking Newcastle in there as well because they're going to have a very juicy January. Right, Hugh, we've got about a minute on the clock for each team. So this is going to be high octane stuff. I will allow you to serve. Who would you like to go with and who's the player? Let's do it.
Let's start with Liverpool. Look, Joachim Mæhle at Atalanta, the Danish wing-back, basically. I think he'd be great just to add something to the squad in terms of cover. For Trent Alexander-Arnold, in particular, we know he's a slightly different player, hasn't got that amazing delivery, but does really get up and down. But he also covers the left-hand side as well, just to add a little bit of depth. So not really sexy with Liverpool. I like Rodrigo de Paul at Atletico as an energetic midfielder, if they could go and buy him, or Erling Haaland. But I think, being realistic, Mæhle at Atalanta for me to go to Anfield.
Okay, I'm going to go sexy here. Raphinha from Leeds. It would be a huge transfer. He is ready for that move up to one of those top sides. What I like about him as well is that ability to play on the right-hand side or the left-hand side. You've seen how Jota's improved. And I think you could see the same with Raphinha. His conversion rate is about 12%, which isn't great, but his shots are from so much further out than the players at Liverpool. So at the moment, he's not really getting the best chances. If he went to Liverpool, he would be shooting a lot closer to goal and scoring a lot more. I think he'd be an amazing signing for Liverpool this season. Next up, I'll tell you what, I'll go next. I'll bounce it back to you. Let's go Tottenham. So Tottenham, they want that energy. They want those runners in midfield. Renato Sanchez from Lille is the man for me. What I really like about him is he would allow Antonio Conte to be a bit more flexible in terms of how he plays within a game, be it a 3-4-3 or be it a 3-5-2, because he can play centre midfield. He can play box-to-box midfield. He can play as a shadow striker as well. You can get cut price to a point in Ligue 1 as well. So I think Renato Sanchez would be a great option for Tottenham.
I've gone similar in terms of a player that's worked with Antonio Conte at Inter Milan before, who's playing really well. Would probably be a big money move, but Marcelo Brozovic, really like him. Good experience as well. I thought about so many centre-backs because I don't really rate the defence at Spurs. Luis Felipe, Andreas Christensen at Chelsea, Alessio Romagnoli at AC Milan as well. But I think Brozovic for me. Who should we go to next? Let's stay in North London. Arsenal. I think this is really interesting, Arsenal, because I think they've added so many good young players. They're improving under Mikel Arteta, but I still think they need a controlling central midfield player with a little bit of experience. I really like Yuri Tielemans. This would be a big money move at Leicester City, but I also like the Lille striker, Jonathan David, if they were going to replace Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang or, of course, Alex Lacazette. What do you think?
I want a striker. I want a quite complete striker. I don't think you're going to be able to get those top guys. People talking about Vlahovic. I don't see that happening with Arsenal. I'd go for Patrick Schick. He's absolutely flying at the moment. I think 14 goals in 12 games. And, he's a big guy. He's got great finishing ability as well. I think that's what Arsenal need, that bit of physicality up top. You haven't got that with Aubameyang. You haven't really got it with Lacazette. You haven't really got it with Nketiah as well. I think someone who's a bit more complete, a bit like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Patrick Schick, I think would be a really, really good choice for Arsenal up top. I'm going to go to, where are we going to go? Let's stay with Vlahovic, because for Man City, I think Vlahovic could be a really, really good option for them. Of course, we all know that he's breaking records in Serie A. He's still so young as well. I know the thing with him is I think he's got that Aguero vibe in terms of being that natural goal scorer. And for Man City, I think that's what you want to see. I also think you get someone quite not cheap, but sort of young and malleable in terms of their development. Bring him in, and because it's Man City, you don't actually have to play him straight off the bat because they're so good at playing without a striker. But in time, I think Guardiola is going to want that option with someone who is malleable, but is also a natural goal scorer. And I think Vlahovic could be the option for Man City.
For me, I think the sale of Ferran Torres, which should be coming up at the start of January, is a big indication that Manchester City are going to go back and try and get Harry Kane from Tottenham Hotspur. Looking at the amount of money, over £40 million, I think it would be. Is that the extra money that Manchester City need to add to their bid of last summer to convince Daniel Levy at Spurs that now is the time to sell Daniel Levy and reinvest, 120, £125 million it could be, back into the Tottenham squad and give that to Antonio Conte? Kane hasn't looked at his brilliant best, hasn't looked happy. I think now's the time for him to go. And Manchester City could win the Champions League with him up front. Another small shout, Frankie de Jong at Barcelona, who I just think could be available. We've seen the rumours. Imagine him and Pep Guardiola, what he could become as a player. I would love to see it. Love to see it. Let's stay in Manchester, though. Manchester United next. I'm a Manchester United fan. There are so many areas that need improvement, but I think Fred and McTominay, I'm sorry to say it, it's time for a brand new central midfield. Paul Pogba's probably going to leave the club at the end of the season. Will he get sold in January? We don't know. I've gone for holding midfielders. Dennis Zakaria at Borussia Mönchengladbach, who I think could be available on a free at the end of the season. Could they force that in January? The same with Frank Kessié at AC Milan, who I also really like. Declan Rice at West Ham United, probably going to be one for the summer, because that would be, I reckon, £100 million deal. Boubacar Kamara at Marseille as well, a player who Manchester United. Look, we could do with at least 3 or 4, James. So don't laugh. Any one of them.
I was just saying, there's only one player. You're giving me 4 or 5. I think there's clearly options to improve in that midfield, is what you're saying, right? I agree with the midfield side of it. And as a man, you've spoken, it could be a battle of the Manchester clubs for Frankie de Jong, because I think he would work beautifully for Ralph Rangnick. Assesses the situation brilliantly, great on the ball, and needs to drill down on a position. He's played an 8, he's played a 6, needs to drill down on that 6th position. And I think a move to Man United could be absolutely electric for them. Man United ticked off the list. We've got Chelsea and Newcastle. I'm going to go Chelsea. Alessandro Bastoni from Inter Milan. Really progressive. There's a problem here with Rudiger at the moment. Is he going to sign a contract? I think he will, but if he doesn't, you want to maybe put that pressure on him and also just have someone else who can progress with the ball brilliantly. That's what he's done so well for Inter Milan. I think he would do the same for Chelsea. And Italian players or Italian people and Chelsea, it just generally fits for me. Who would you go for Chelsea?
Definitely a defender, but I would have said Jules Koundé at Sevilla, who they went for last summer. Get him in this time. I think he'd suit them very well.
We got Newcastle, of course, as well. Romain Favre, I'm going for from Brest. A player that's maybe not that big money signing, but so exciting. Newcastle United fans would absolutely love him. Cracking right winger, 17 matches so far this season, 12 goal involvements in League One as well, compared to the 11 of last season. He's really progressing in the right way. And I think if Newcastle want to have that long-term vision, just chucking money about is a little bit dangerous. Maybe you want someone who's going to develop with the club and the team. And I think Romain Favre would offer up that creativity that would take the burden away from Alan St-Maximin and Callum Wilson. Who are you going for, Hugh?
Some shrewd loan signings, I think. But if they put in an offer for a couple of Chelsea midfielders, I think it would be incredible. Billy Gilmore and Conor Gallagher. If you're looking for a 5-year plan to get to the top, why not bring in young, talented players? If you put in a decent bid, could that force Chelsea's hand to recall them from loan and maybe sell them in January? Both of them excellent players. Okay,
guys, let us know what you think about our picks. Who won that game of Transfer Tennis? Let us know in the comments below.
Hi, I'm Hugh Woozencroft from ESPN's Football Forecast. Make sure you're subscribed. You can follow all of our predictions throughout the season and get some other great analysis from our big names as well.